I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Star Point Middle School. Good morning, Star Point Middle School.
During the month of February, the Star Mart drawing will be for a Bills jersey. We will have 2 winners for our Allen and Diggs jerseys. Get those Starbucks in to win.
Students attending All County Festival for junior high chorus and elementary band should report to the music room at 9 a.m. See Mrs. Techman or Miss Arlotta with questions.
Attention Mrs. Norwood's classes. Classes will be in the LMC today. Please bring your binder.
Attention student council members. There will be a meeting today in room F16. See you then.
The LMC will be closed periods 1, 2, 6, 7, and 8 today.
Information literacy will be in room F12 today.
Attention those who are interested in going to the Winter Web Dance. Tickets are on sale during lunch and are $7 each. They'll also be on sale all next week. Speaking of web leaders, 8th grade web leaders, will meet for lunch in F4 today. Today's meeting is mandatory. No dance shoes required. See you then.
Bowling intramurals grades 6 and 8 are today. Invite any staff member to join.
The modified boys basketball team took a long trip to Frontier Middle last night and earned a well-deserved team win, 30-27. Quinn Vogel led all scorers with 11. Ethan Wilkinson chipped in with 7. Great defensive plays from Jack Burnt, Nate Millville, and Joe Castiglione. They also kept the Spartans in the game. Alex Jurwitz, Kyle Coons, and David Chase cleaned up any rebound they could get their hands on. They limited second chance opportunities for Frontier all night. The team will be back on the court Saturday morning at Roy Hart and Monday evening at Will East.
Congratulations to the girls hockey team on their triple overtime win against HEWS last night. The girls advanced to the sectional finals with the win.
Today's lunch is a meatball sub.
Today is Friday, February 10th, and it is a C Day. Have a Wildfire Friday.
Please stay tuned for today's Spartan Time video.
Hi, all of you know me as Mrs. Bundrock. That's my married name. My maiden name is actually Chunko. When I was in middle school, I was dancing, and my dance instructor referred to me as Chunky Chunko. After that, about 6 months had gone on, and I had decided to quit dancing because every time I went into that dance studio, that's all I could remember is that my dance instructor referred to me as Chunky Chunko. As I entered into high school, I experienced many of those same comments because many of my friends that were in my dance class were also in high school with me. I started to experience some different eating disorders where I wouldn't want to eat lunch or eat in front of people. And I still experience that today where I do not like to necessarily eat in front of people. Something that happened to me in middle school is something that I still remember into my adult life.
My name is Mrs. Rashinik, and I teach 8th grade math. I'm thinking back to a time when someone said something to me that really hurt. So when I was in 1st grade, I was in line for lunch, and another student in line looked at me and said, "Ew, look at Kristen's elbows, they're dark and dirty." And the other student said, "Well, that's because her dad's black." And they started laughing. So I was so upset. I went home and I actually tried to scrub my elbows clean because I thought that would make it better. And unfortunately, as time went on from 1st grade, there were more incidents, more mean words, even including the N-word. But if I think back, this is the very first time that someone said something to me that made me feel less than what I really was. made me feel less of a person and made me feel like something was wrong with me, even though that's just the way that I was born.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Julian. I'm an 8th grade Spanish teacher here at Starpoint Middle School. And one negative comment that I've gotten that really sticks with me still to this day is when I was in college going to school to be a teacher, I just wasn't doing a good job, what my professor thought, on writing out my lesson plans. And in front of everybody, my professor said that being a teacher was not for me and I should pursue a different career. And, you know, 22 years later, 21 years later, I'm obviously still teaching, but when we have those times where I'm being observed by the principal or we have more academic things that we need to do, those insecurities come back and I think about that.
I'm Mr. Toth, you guys all know me. I am here to talk about how words can stick with you for a lifetime and how some things that were said to me back in high school have lasted and stuck with me all of this time. As far as I can remember, from the beginning of high school all the way through college, I have faced the comments and name calling like many of you may have. Mine was geared more towards the fact that I was skinny, like a stick in fact, or that I have twigs for arms. Now many of you might take this as a compliment, however in my mind it was the exact opposite. It was something that I was always extremely self-conscious about. People knew that it bothered me, so they used it to get to me. My younger brothers were always bigger than me, always the better athletes, and though I was happy for their success, I was always being compared to them as the stick Toth. Collectively, these comments used to eat me alive. I used to wear long sleeves and sweatshirts daily, even during the summer, all to hide the person that I was. I worked out, ate a healthy diet, put all my attention towards helping my appearance, and did everything in my power to help me have some sort of physique. Nothing seemed to help and I grew more and more discouraged with the person that I was. These comments have continued all the way through my adult life. My coach in college dealt with an extremely similar situation. He helped me realize that it's not always about the appearance and looking great on what's on the outside, but there is also an inner appearance that I can have, and I can have a greater impact on the people around me. He helped me realize that there's more to life than having cannons for arms. I turned my focus to that inner side. I let the comments go more easily. I even joke when they are made. The comments and name calling become less after people realized that I had more to offer, and the person that I was on the inside was who I was. The name calling and body image I once put all my attention towards is now something I look back and remind myself that it's not all about appearance, but how I present myself.
Hello, Starpoint Middle. My name is Mr. Aquino. I'm a 7th grade teacher. I feel proud and privileged to sit here and talk to you about the power of words. I thought about what I might say and brought me back to just a couple years ago when we were in a hybrid learning model. And it was different, it was new, but what I took from that, there was a wonderful group of students and adults that really used positive words frequently. And what I mean by that, there was a lot of things we'd hear like, good morning, good job, how are you today? I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a great weekend. Nice seeing you, nice talking to you. And it filled each and every day with positives. Yes, there were some negatives and there was some negative words, as sometimes in a school setting we get. But if we focus more on positive and using positive words, it will outweigh the negatives.
Back back in 2008, I actually went through kind of a scary health time. And I had to be out of school for quite a long time, away from my students, away from my friends at work. And as I continued to get better at home, when the end of the year came, I wanted to come back and see my students and be able to say goodbye and tell them I wish them well moving on to the high school and make sure that they knew I was okay, because I know they were worried. So I came back and I talked to the kids, and as one of my students was walking out of the room, he said, you know, Mrs. Rashinik, I'm kind of dealing with some of the same stuff. I've got some great tips and tricks, and don't worry, you've got this. And I will never forget that. He had no idea that in that moment of all the times, I needed to hear it more than ever. And even to this day, when things aren't going well in all different types of situations, I think back to my student and what he said and how those kind words just really lifted me right up.
One positive memory that I have from being in middle school was I went to a Catholic school, so we only had about 22 kids in my class. And we, as a field trip, went on what was called a retreat for the day. And it was kind of a day where we met at another location and did team building exercises, played games and things like that. And one of the activities was we each got a paper lunch bag and wrote our names on it, and then little pieces of paper. And we all had to walk around and write something positive about that person on a piece of paper. And those of you that know me can probably figure, oh, funny, you know, I get a lot of funny comments. But one person who, and these were anonymous, so I don't know who it was, but one person wrote that I had a beautiful smile. And that was nice because I was the tall girl in school, so I never really got positive comments about my looks before, and it made me feel good. And I still remember it.